What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. NFL. AFC divisional game. So this is one of the games in the second round of the NFL playoffs. So this game is between the Buffalo Bills and the Denver Broncos. The Bills have a 48.7% chance to win. The Broncos have a 51.3% chance to win. This is at Denver. So for injuries, for the Bills, Phillips and Hamlin are on the IR, and Oliver, Samuel, and Johnson are game time decisions, or like they're questionable. So for the Broncos, Kroll, Sanders, Dobbins, Jones, and Wattenberg are on the IR. Yeah, like this could be a good game. Like this could be pretty good. So for quarterbacks, you have Josh Allen for the Bills, 319 out, 460, 36, 68 yards, 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 388 out of 612, 39, 31 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So yeah, some of these stats are pretty comparable. Like especially with quarterbacks. Obviously, running backs, James Cook's gonna bring a lot of things to the table in the running game. Yeah, I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think the Broncos will beat the Bills. NFC divisional game. So this game is part of the second round of the NFL playoffs, and this game is between the San Francisco 49ers and Seattle Seahawks. The Niners have a 40.5% chance to win, and the Seahawks have a 59.3% chance to win. This is at Seattle. For injuries, for the Niners, Gifford, Winters, and Pearsall are questionable, and Brown is out. Warner's on the IR/R. For the Seahawks, Sam Darnold's questionable. Surratt and Arroyo are on the injured reserve, and Horton are all on the injured reserve, and Jones is out. So yeah, definitely an injury-filled week for for all of them. And yeah, for quarterbacks, you have Brock Purdy for the Niners, 197 out of 284, 21.67 yards, 20 touchdowns, 10 receptions. Sam Darnold for the Seahawks, 323 out of 477, 48 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 receptions. This could be a really good game. Like between these two, this could be really good. Yeah, I think with it being at Seattle, I think the Seahawks will beat the 49ers tomorrow. College men's basketball. Virginia Cavaliers versus SMU Mustangs. Virginia is a 51% chance to win, and SMU is a 49% chance to win. This is at SMU. Um, Virginia is 16 nation, 15-2 record. SMU is unranked, 13-4 record. So yeah, for stats, SMU is more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Virginia has more rebounds per game. SMU has slightly more assists per game. Virginia has more blocks per game. And SMU has more steals per game. Yeah, so yeah, this could be a good game. Like, a lot depends on how big of effect, the points against gonna be, because that's like a 10% difference. So that could affect things. And yeah, so And yeah, I think it will. So despite the home field advantage that SMU has, I think with the points against advantage, I think Virginia beats SMU. Kentucky Wildcats versus Tennessee Volunteers. Kentucky is a 32.7% chance to win. Tennessee is a 67.3% chance to win. This is at Tennessee. For stats, Kentucky has slightly more points per game and has more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Tennessee has more rebounds per game, slightly more assists per game. Kentucky has slightly more blocks per game. Tennessee has slightly more steals per game. So these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Tennessee will beat Kentucky. Butler Bulldogs versus Seton Pirates. Um, Butler has a 38.9% chance to win. Seton has a 61.1% chance to win. This is at Sutton Hole. So yeah, so like with stats, so Butler has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds, assists per game. Seton Hall's more blocks per game and more steals in sports. So yeah, I thought like I say these the big ones. That's the difference is the points against. So it's a 13.3 difference in favor of Seton Hall. And the other stats are pretty close. So with the home field advantage and with the points against advantage, I think Seton Hall will beat Butler. Alabama Crimson Tide versus Oklahoma Sooners. Alabama is a 58.2% chance to win. Oklahoma is a 41.8% chance to win. This is at Oklahoma. So Alabama is 18 nation, 12-5 record. Oklahoma is unranked 11-6 record. So for stats, Alabama has more points per game, points against. Oklahoma has a slightly higher field goal percentage. And Alabama has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and slightly more steals per game. See, yeah, this could be a really close game. Um, and with these sets being close, I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Oklahoma will beat Alabama. Iowa State Cyclones versus Cincinnati Bearcats. Iowa State is a 76.1% chance to win. Cincinnati is a 23.9% chance to win. This is at Cincinnati, so Iowa State's 2 nation, 16-1 record. Cincinnati's unranked 9-8 record. For stats, Iowa State has more points per game. Cincinnati has more points against. Iowa State has a higher field goal percentage. Cincinnati has slightly more rebounds per game. Iowa State is slightly more assists per game. Cincinnati has more blocks per game, and Iowa State has more steals per game. So the big stat is the points per game thing, where the difference is like it's a 12.7 in points in favor of Iowa State. The rest of the stats are pretty close. So without like home field advantage, and I think with the points advantage, I think Iowa State will beat Cincinnati. Florida Gators versus Vanderbilt Commodores. Florida has a 43% chance to win. Vandy is a 57% chance to win. This is at Vandy. So Florida is 19 nation, 12-5 record. Vandy is a 10 nation, 16-1 record. So yeah, for stats, Vandy has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Florida's more rebounds per game. Vandy is more assists per game. Blocks per game is even, and Vandy is more steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Vanderbilt will beat Florida. Miami Hurricanes versus Clemson Tigers. Miami is a 28.1% chance to win, and Clemson is a 71.9% chance to win. This is at Clemson. So Miami's unranked 15-2 record, and Clemson's 22 nation 15-3 record. So yeah, stats. Miami has more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and has more steals per game. So yeah, the big stat that has a difference is the points per game, where it's a 10.2 in favor of Miami. The other ones are pretty close. So despite the home field advantage that Clemson has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think Miami will pull off the upset and beat Clemson. Utah State Aggies versus Grand Canyon Antelopes. Utah State is a 74.1% chance to win, and Grand Canyon has a 25.9% chance to win. This is at Grand Canyon. So Utah State is 23 nation, 15-1 record. Grand Canyon is unranked, 10-6 record. So for stats, Utah State is 4 points per game. Grand Canyon is 4 points against. Utah State is a higher field goal percentage, but still has a slightly more rebounds per game. Has more Utah State has more assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, and has more steals per game. So yeah, so yeah, like this could be a good game. Like I think I think the big stat that's the difference is the points per game. Like it is a 11.2 difference. Despite the home field advantage that GCU has, I think with the points per game advantage, I think Utah State will beat Grand Canyon. Arizona Wildcats versus UCF Knights. Arizona is an 80.7% chance to win. UCF is a 19.3% chance to win. This is at UCF. So Arizona is one nation, 17-0 record. UCF is unranked, 14-2 record. For stats, Arizona is more points per game, and UCF has more points against. Arizona has a higher field goal percentage. And, Arizona has more rebounds per game, assists per game, and blocks per game, and has more steals per game. So these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think UCF will beat Arizona. Nebraska Cornhuskers versus Northwestern Wildcats. And Nebraska is a 63.5% chance to win. Northwestern is a 36.4% chance to win. This is at Northwestern. Nebraska is 8 nation, 17-0 record. Northwestern is unranked, 8-9 record. So for stats, Nebraska has more points per game. Northwestern has more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Nebraska is more rebounds per game, slightly more assists per game, and Northwestern is more blocks per game. And Nebraska has more steals per game. So yeah, this could be a good game. I think they'll close the stats where I think home advantage is going to be big thing here. So I think Northwestern will beat Nebraska. North Carolina Tar Heels versus California Bears. UNC has a 64.4% chance to win. Cal has a 35.6% chance to win. This is at Cal, so UNC's 14 nation, 14-3 record. Cal's unranked, 13-5 record. So for stats, UNC has more points per game. Cal has more points against. North Carolina has a higher field goal percentage. It has more rebounds per game, assists per game. Cal has more blocks per game and steals per game. So yeah, this this game could be good. Like a lot of these stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is gonna be a big thing here. So I think Cal will beat North Carolina. Arkansas Razorbacks versus Georgia Bulldogs. Arkansas is a 41.5% chance to win. Georgia is a 58.5% chance to win. This is at Georgia. Arkansas 17 nation, 13-4 record. Georgia's 21 nation, 14-3 record. So this could be a really good game. For stats, Georgia's more points per game. Arkansas is slightly more points against and a slightly higher field goal percentage. Georgia's more rebounds per game. Arkansas is more assists per game. Georgia's more blocks per game and steals per game. So yeah, I thought this was this looks like it could be a really good game. Like yeah, so two highly ranked teams going against her. This could be pretty good. I think with how close the stats are, I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Georgia will beat Arkansas. Purdue Boilermakers versus USC Trojans. Purdue has a 75.5% chance to win. USC has a 24.5% chance to win. This is at USC, so Purdue's 5 nation, 16-1 record. USC's unranked, 14-3 record. For stats, Purdue has more points per game. USC has more points against. Purdue has more has a higher field goal percentage, has slightly more rebounds per game, and has more assists per game, and USC has more blocks per game, and slightly more steals per game. So yeah, this is a good game. So this looks like it could be pretty good. So yeah, I think with this how close stats are, I think home field advantage is gonna be a big thing here. So I think USC will beat Purdue. Duke Blue Devils versus Stanford Cardinal. Duke has a 90% chance to win. Stanford has a 10% chance to win. This is at Stanford, so Duke is 6 in the nation, 16-1 record. Stanford's unranked, 14-4 record. So for stats, Duke has more points per game. Stanford has more points against. Duke has a higher field goal percentage and has more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and slightly more steals per game. So yeah, this could be a good game. I think how close these stats are, I think home advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Stanford will beat Duke. Michigan State Spartans versus Washington Huskies. Michigan State is a 63.9% chance to win. Washington is a 36.1% chance to win. This is at Washington. Michigan State is 12 nation, 15-2 record. Washington is unranked, 10-7 record. For stats, Washington is more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage, and more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game, and steals is even. So yeah, so a lot of these stats are relatively pretty close. So I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Washington will beat Michigan State. BYU Cougars versus Texas Tech Red Bears. BYU has a 49.7% chance to win, and Texas Tech has a 50.3% chance to win. This is at Texas Tech. So BYU's 11 nation, 16-1 record, and Texas Tech is 15 nation, 13-4 record. So for stats, BYU has more points per game, points against. Texas Tech is more points against. BYU is a higher field goal percentage and is more rebounds per game. Texas Tech has more assists per game. BYU has more blocks per game and steals per game. So yeah, I think this could be a pretty good game. Like, I think with how close these stats are, I think home field advantage is going to be a big thing here. So I think Texas Tech will beat BYU. Louisville Cardinals versus Pittsburgh Panthers. Louisville is a 79.4% chance to win. Pittsburgh is a 20.6% chance to win. This is at Pittsburgh. For stats, Louisville is more points per game, slightly more points against. Field goal percentage is even. Louisville has more rebounds per game, assists per game, slightly more blocks per game, slightly more steals per game. So yeah, so the big difference in points is the points per game. So it is a 13.1 difference between the two in favor of Louisville. But yeah, so I thought this could be a good game. Thought this could be a really good game, and yeah. So I think with it being at Pittsburgh, I think like with how close these stats are, I think Pittsburgh will beat Louisville. NBA. Phoenix Suns versus New York Knicks. The Suns have a 34.9% chance to win. The Knicks have a 65.1% chance to win. This is at New York. For injuries, for the Suns, Bahia and Green are out, and Booker's is a game time decision. For the Knicks, Brunson is a game time decision. So yeah, this is this could be a good game. Like for stats, Knicks have more points per game, points against, slightly higher field goal percentage, more rebounds per game, assists per game, blocks per game is even, and Suns have more steals per game. So these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage is gonna be a big thing here. So I think the Knicks will beat the Suns. Oklahoma City Thunder versus Miami Heat. The Thunder have a 72.9% chance to win. The Heat have a 27.1% chance to win. This is at Miami. So Yeah, so for injuries, for the Thunder, Hartenstein, Topic are out, and Sorber is out with a game time decision. Is out for the season. For the Heat, Jacquez Jr., Mitchell, and Rozier are out, and Harrow is the game time decision. So yeah, honestly, these stats these stats are pretty close. So I think home field advantage, the only one with the big difference is the points against. So it is a 10.1 in favor of OKC. That's the only one with the big difference. The rest are pretty close. But, points against, that's a big deal. So I think, despite the home field advantage that the Heat have, I think with the points against disadvantage, like for the Heat, I think the Thunder will beat the Heat to Minnesota Timberwolves versus San Antonio Spurs. The Wolves have a 42.1% chance to win. Spurs have a 57.9% chance to win. This is at San Antonio. For injuries, for the Wolves, Edwards is a game time decision, and Shan Jr. is out. For the Spurs, Castle's a game time decision, and Vassell is out. For stats, Wolves have more points per game, points against, higher field goal percentage. Spurs have more rebounds per game. Wolves have more assists per game, and slightly more blocks per game and steals per game. These stats are pretty close, so I think home field advantage is going to be the big thing here. So I think the Spurs will beat the Wolves. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.